Hey there, people. Welcome to the long-awaited episode 19. Today we are going to discuss the idea of free choice and how that role should play in your life. So I'm going to quickly begin this episode by kind of discrediting myself, and by that I really mean it's really just another episode where I give cliche advice and get away with it because I add in a personal story or twist, call it what you will, and that's just it. So if I still have your interest, please continue listening. And another warning is there might be some background noise, people coming in and out. And yeah, otherwise that's just it. So I hope that I'm able to at least make your day a little bit better, head you into a more positive direction wherever that may be. So without further ado, here is the story. So, last year was the last year that I had French. Okay, alright. So my French teacher is an amazing woman. She's really underappreciated, and from what I can remember from her, she's just a type of woman to always give out some type of life lesson, some life advice, and each time I leave French class feeling pretty enlightened. She's the teacher who doesn't give you a lot of homework, because she trusts that, you're going to do what you need to do in her class to get the grade that you want. She's the teacher to assign projects that make your life a bit more colorful. She makes sure that it's all engaging, and it's these type of projects that I happen to have made some really great friends. And in the process, I just slowly understood the importance of human relationships. And she's just a type of teacher that you can go to for anything, really, and she wouldn't judge you for what you have to say, and she's very admirable. I admire her on so many levels, and at this point I've probably ranted about her enough. Right, so last year was, the last year of French that I'll ever take, which explains why I basically began this school year completely forgetting that I ever had a French teacher from the start, until about 3 weeks ago when I opened my pencil bag and out fell this little blue piece of paper that every kid in French 3 got as a last goodbye from Madame. Each piece was personalized to that student, and mine was really sweet. She said really sweet things to me, and after reading it, I realized how important a role she played in my life. And it was about a week ago that I ran into her in the hallway, and I legit just came and I hugged her. Like, I just hugged her, and it was that moment that I kind of just had an outburst of, "Hi, Madame, how about I go and I have a conversation with you after your classes are over? Is that all right?" And she said yes. And so afterwards, a conversation became a lunch. And we basically just talked and talked and talked and talked all the way through. And it was really worth it. Because it was just from that very quick decision in that moment, where I just chose to have an outburst, that quick decision, that brought someone so important, so cool, and so amazing back into my life. I've realized from that encounter that it's never really a goodbye when you think it is, but it's also decisions that you choose to make, not the ones that you have to make, that sometimes have the most significant impacts in your life. And it's exactly these impacts that make life just a little, if not a lot, more meaningful and more real. So I keep talking about impacts and decisions. What I really mean is, when it comes to the important things, important people, important anything that is important to you. It's important things that have a place and a purpose to make you better than you were yesterday, happier than you were yesterday, more confident and more amazing. But the most important thing that these important things bring to you is happiness. And that's essentially what we're all kind of trying to strive towards. And basically, I've kind of compiled a pretty straightforward list of steps to help you make choices, or at least help guide you to make choices that would encourage a more fulfilling, possibly happier lifestyle. So the first step is knowing what is and what isn't important in your life. So go ahead and make a list. Write it down, make a mental list anywhere. There will be moments in your life when you will need to reference this list to either get back on track or just to update, because, we're only human and our priorities change. And some things will be taken off, some things will be added on, and eventually you'll know that list by heart, because it's just a guide for both the happiest times or the rainiest days of your life. And it really is just a guide. It serves as the barest necessity to remind you of who you are despite everything else happening around you. It will keep you on track in case you ever veer off of what is important to you, and in that sense, it's definitely going to be very helpful along the way. So make a list. And the second step, which is basically the last step, is to take initiative and follow your heart. And I say this very cautiously because so many things can go wrong. And, but one good thing is that by letting your emotions lead the way for you when the time is right, you're setting yourself free for once. If you've always lived with logic, then you'd never know how things would turn out if you let yourself go, if you let your heart go, if you had let your heart have a voice. Sometimes by being logical, you really hold yourself back because you're trying to make a decision that makes the most sense with little to no room for mistake. And yes, I agree that is definitely a safe way to live life, but if you don't let your heart have a voice at all, then you're most definitely going to miss out on a lot of opportunities and end up living a life of what ifs or what could be. So do take caution, however, when you interpret following your heart, because at least have some competence. So I'm going to trust you with that. Be logical, but be careful. So follow your heart when the time is right. Okay, so the moral of this story is know what is important in your life. And make sure you reach out to get these important things. Everything that is important to you, go out there and get them. And that's it. And how to do it? It's the choices that you make as of now. It's today. Yeah, cliche, but pretty true. We are what we choose to be. And what we choose to be are in our everyday decisions. And what decisions we make depend on who we are. So it's really a cycle, because it all begins with knowing who you are, and knowing what you fight for, and knowing everything else that you love. And it's all within your power. So why is it in your power? Because I said so, and because I know so. With all that said, I hope your journey is a smoother one today, and I wish you the best. And this was a pretty long episode. I'm really sorry. Your most optimistic friend, Ngoc. Okay, P.S. This is a pretty long episode. I'm sorry. I mean, it was really roughly written. This is probably not one of my best episodes, but it's an episode that mentions a very important person in my life, and it's my French teacher. And I don't know, I guess slowly as I write more episodes like these, you're going to see a lot of people, and it's mostly going to be people that impact my life, in a sense. And from that, we'll just have to learn and see, and maybe in your life, it's people that have the most impact in your life as well. So we're both learning here, if you happen to be an avid follower, but we are both learning. We're both on this journey together, and it's going to be all right, because we are both going to make mistakes, and I'm going to make mistakes, and you're probably going to hear a lot about them, and it's going to be all right. So good luck. See ya.